Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Somos Moss, the official podcast of Somos Moss NM and your source for the latest news and notes on New Mexico United and the New Mexico Runners. My name, of course, is Seth Bidoff, and the black screen right there beside me, there it is the one and only playoff questioning Earl Nieto. Welcome on in, everybody. We appreciate you being here. It is Tuesday night, and we are celebrating a berth in the playoffs for New Mexico United after they picked up a 4-1 win over Memphis 901 FC Friday night out at the lab in front of 11,300 folks and change. Fantastic night for New Mexico United. The playoffs are set. We've got the full round of I don't even know what you call it. Full round of it's 16, I guess. The full round of 16. I guess if that's one you call it, quarterfinals, whatever you want to call it. The playoffs are set, and there is still a mathematical chance for New Mexico United to potentially host a playoff game. So it is out there. It is possible. Andres Trujillo over in the chat. Andres, thank you for being here. How you doing, bud? Glad to see you here this evening. Appreciate you being here. If you're in the chat, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, please pop on over. Throw your questions and comments in the chat. We will get to those throughout the show this evening. If you're on Twitter, please follow along. Unfortunately, you can't chat with us, though. So we do appreciate each and every one of you being here. Andres Trujillo, if you folks don't know, owner and president of the New Mexico Runners. And we're going to have Andres here on the show in a few weeks. Maybe we'll have some news for you guys in terms of the Runners ahead of their upcoming season. So a lot of things to get to this evening. I want to start off by saying, I guess let's start with this. After the win Friday night, Team of the Week comes out today. New Mexico has not one, not two, but three players named to the USL Championship Player of the Week. Zico Bailey, Greg Hurst, and Amando Moreno all getting nods this week. So congratulations to those guys for their performances on Friday night and getting the Team of the Week honors. And realistically, you look at it, and it was a well-deserved mention for those guys.
Yeah, 100%. You look at what Zico did. He scored, his second goal for the club?
I want to say his third. I have to double-check that.
Second or third goal for the club when it mattered the most. We had a 7% chance of making the playoffs. And we went up against a really, really good Memphis 901 team. As much as people want to say it wasn't, that right there is a playoff team. And Rachel James, I do want to say, hey, what's up to you? It was good seeing you on Friday night. I know you got
to see Rachel. I didn't get to see Rachel. I'm bummed.
I always see Rachel.
I'm bummed by that. I didn't get to see Rachel. We were down there too.
Rachel, as many of you guys probably know, maybe you guys don't, is one of the founding members of what we have going on here. One of the founding members of Somos Moss back when we were Somos Unidos News. So Rachel, welcome in. If you have any questions, we love you a lot, just so you know. It was great seeing you. Definitely made my night on top of the win. But like I was saying, though, Memphis 901, a very good team, and yet we showed up when we needed to. That's exactly what it was. We peaked at the right moment. A lot of people, including myself, and I don't know about the guy next to me, but I want to say he had us almost signed out as well.
Well, and to be fair, you look at that run up to these final three games, and there's a very good reason to not be optimistic about the final run up, But then you see the win against Lou City, already fairly improbable. Lou City being one of the best teams in either conference. Then you go on the road to Phoenix Rising, pick up a win out in Phoenix, which we've never done. And then you come back home for the final game of the regular season against a Memphis 901 team that needed points to secure a home playoff match. So for us to come out the way that we did, and we talked about it on Tuesday night last week, after those 2 wins, you and I were both a lot more optimistic about the chances on Friday night against Memphis. Now, obviously, we undersold that a little bit based on the performance we saw Friday night. But I mean, this is what we've been waiting to see. You saw a team that was aggressive, that was dynamic. You saw, just an all-around great performance. One of the easily the best we've seen all season, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely the team that we expected to see all season. Who the shit is this?
Santa is in the chat, folks, so make sure you are good. So you got Santa's nice list.
To answer Santa's question, no, I'm not laying on the floor. Once again, I'm back in my room. If you look up here, there's the saw that's hand painted. I'm not gonna give you a tour of my room again. If you were here a couple weeks ago, you'll get the crash course of it all. But yeah, so like I was saying, this is the team that we expected to see all season, but didn't. And we were very disappointed all season long because we knew the caliber team that we have. We knew what was going on. And to touch on Rachel's comment, so all this time I've been talking about a fire in their bellies. I saw that during the last game. She's been waiting. So have we. I mean, we knew which team we have. We know what championship caliber team we have, and yet we weren't showing out for that team. But so for us to actually come out and put 4 up, I believe the first time all season.
Yep.
It was nice.
Yeah, it really was. It's one of those things, and maybe it's, and we can certainly dive into this here, and we'll do it later in the off season as well once we get there. But maybe it's just a matter of missing pieces. You look at the efforts of guys like Zico Bailey, who came in midseason. You look at Turo Astorga. Like these guys have been, and Nicky Hernandez. There's a number of different guys who have come in and played parts here in the final 5, 6, 10 matches of the year, and have really helped turn this team from, I don't want to say one that was lacking identity, but one that was lacking aggression and a drive to go forward. We talked about the engine all year long without Chris Wehan, without Christian Nava, who was going to be that engine out of the middle. And we saw it from Amando at times, but he's not the guy that you want driving that ball through the middle to create opportunities. He's the guy that you want in and around the box, taking the shots. You talk about Sergio Rivas. Sergio at times was really great about this. But again, you look at the way that Nicky plays, you look at the way Amando played on Friday night. The energy that they bring, the ability to get the ball forward and to play defense in the midfield. Like, it's just incredible the turnaround that we saw here in these final 3 games.
You talked about the shots that were being taken. I can't speak anything more highly of it. I mean, we were taking shots out there like a sharpshooter hunting elk or deer. We were on point.
Yeah, we were, and that's something that was lacking early in the season. We go back and you listen to some of the interviews we did with Zach Prince, talking about guys not taking opportunities or missing opportunities and those chances not falling. You look at the results under Eric, under Coach Quill, and you see them more willing to take shots. Now, did it happen in every match? No. We know that. We know that there were some bad matches in there. But you look at the opportunities that they're creating for themselves. You look at the chances that they're taking. They're high quality, they're better quality chances, and they're converting them, which is absolutely tremendous for this team that that has needed that all season long.
Yeah, I mean, and you saw it there. I mean, just the tenacity that we played with. We were hungry to score goals, and then when Hersey finally got his first goal going, he decided, why not? Let's go play with some Legos and build another one. I mean, that's just what it wound up being was, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be a man playing with kids right now is what it was. I'm going to go score goals. I'm going to stack Legos and I'm going to call it good. And I do want to thank Rachel because Rachel just sent us 99 stars. So Rachel, thank you so much. We do appreciate that. That does go a very, very long ways for us, and helping us support what we're trying to do here. So once again, thanks again. Um, Talking about Legos, Rachel goes and drops all of them on us so we can just step on them. But yeah, so we played like a team that needed to win and understood the need for us to win, and the fierceness and on point that we had, like this play right here where Hursty just puts it away, doesn't have any fear for the goalkeeper. He just puts it away. I can't talk any more about it. I mean, we played like we needed to and like we should have all season long. Had we played like this the entire season, I do believe that we are sitting at a home spot for sure, home playoff match. And ladies and gentlemen, I tried to burn enough time on air, but Seth has decided to play it on his phone right now. So take this for a commercial break. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you do live air. Life happens. So once again, we're still waiting for Seth to come back. I mean, we've talked about United and what they did and what they should have done and what we expected from them. If you guys have any comments in the chat, please feel free to tune in and or chime in and put them in the chat. We're more than willing to take them. Yeah.
Sorry about that, folks. I had to take an unexpected phone call. So I mean, yeah, it's we've got the replay playing over here, and I apologize, Earl. I don't remember the last thing you said. But yeah, I mean, you watch the way the guys played on Saturday night. You see the first goal, off a set piece. First time we've had a set piece goal in a while. Probably the best delivery we've seen from Justin Portillo in a number of weeks. And then Harry gets a good touch on the ball. Obviously, it takes a deflection there, and to get that goal. But yeah, so you watch and you see the tenacity and the defending. You see, just the play, particularly of Armando Moreno and some of the other guys. And yeah, I've been waiting to see this all year long. You finally see the pieces that Coach Quill wants to put into place, working. And so, it's, Greg Hurst, the guy that we've talked about a lot this season, hadn't scored since April. And, he gets two really good opportunities here, in the second half to really ice this match, particularly after we gave up a goal where, I mean, again, you come out kind of flat at the half and, Hursty is able to pick up, some extra goal, pick up some goals, pick up some pace on the outside. And those are runs you don't typically see out of him. And if you're not over in the New Mexico United Discord, go check it out. We put the post-match audio from Greg Hurst, from Coach Quill, and from Armando Moreno up in the Discord over there. And, you can just hear the excitement in these guys' voices about how things are going and how they've been playing these past few weeks. They sound really confident heading into the first round of playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know what you just said because my internet or your internet, one of the internets was bogging down. So the last thing I heard was someone sounds confident going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I was talking about Armando and Coach and Greg after the match on Friday night. They sound confident, in what they're doing and how they've been playing, leading up into the next match against Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean, you were there at the press conference as well. And for the most part, everyone did see the quotes that David Carl did put out on Facebook regarding Coach and what he said. I mean, the first question that was asked was 7%. You had a 7% chance to make the playoffs. What was your mentality going in? And he said he embraces it. For lack of better words, he embraces the challenge. So for us to go against the number one team that we haven't lost to this season, that's a really good spot for us. I mean, we're looking, that's probably the more favorable position that we wanted to be in was Sacramento because of the fact that we haven't lost them this season.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something we talked about a little bit last week. We were talking about it, in the press box and amongst the media. When you look at the matchups and where we could potentially fall in the standings, obviously a home playoff match was all but out of the picture a few weeks ago. But then you look at, after these results, you look at the opponents we could have ended up against. You look at the standings with how close second through fourth was. We could have ended up with Sacramento, depending on the El Paso result. We could have ended up with San Antonio, San Diego, or Orange County, depending on other results. And realistically, we talked about it. You talked about, like Sacramento, you mentioned a second ago, we haven't lost them. We took 4 points off Sacramento this year. I think it's a really good matchup for United. And even in that last match that we had, it was a 0-0 draw. We didn't necessarily have tremendous opportunities to pick up a goal. We didn't falter against a team that had been playing really, really well. And you saw the defensive effort in that game. And it was honestly a really good defensive game against Sacramento a few weeks back. But when you look at Sacramento compared to some of the other opponents we could have faced, I don't like the matchup against San Antonio. I think San Antonio is big, they're physical, they're fast, and we just don't match up well against them. I don't necessarily think we match up well against Orange County. Orange County, again, a supremely talented club, and they're playing really well, especially in the second half of the season. They're not the team that we played early on. And then you look at San Diego, and honestly, of the four, San Diego is probably my second choice. 2 matches against San Diego this year, we picked up 2 draws. So I think that the matchup against them is a little bit better. But playing on the road at Torero in their final season, that does not bode well for anybody going in there. So I think Sacramento, of all the games, is the best possible matchup for United this weekend.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better matchup. I wouldn't say an easier matchup. I can ask for a better matchup because of what we did, and the fact that we're in form right now. I mean, we found out the Greg Hurst project and how good that works out. We found out that here it goes. Schneider Bordigan is better on the bench.
He just might be. Again, it's has it been a success so far? No. Has he done some good things? Yes. But I don't think that he ended up not being the answer, but I don't think it's for a lack of effort. I think it's that this is a different level of competition, and we've seen the way that these teams have played over the past several weeks. And seeing what we've seen, I don't think Borgelin was ready for that. So I do think that Hurst was the better option, particularly in this match. But that's not to say that Borgelin can't contribute in some way. I just want to see him improve. Now, his chances are probably going to be slim in the playoffs to do that. But I think he still has a lot of room for growth, either with the club here or somewhere else in the offseason.
Is he a loan or is he a full transfer?
I believe that was a loan. I will double check that.
I know Andrew Thomas is a loan, so I'm hoping that we decide to pick up his loan and actually bring him on full.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is on loan.
Okay. I mean, we could talk about it all we want about how we like this match, and I love this matchup, but at the end of the day, it's how we play. If we can take the form that we've ran with the past three and a half matches, if we could take that form with us into the playoffs, then I like our chances.
Yeah.
I like our chances to go deep if we can continue our form. But if we decide to falter a little bit and take a break, I don't like where we go. If we're a month ago United, then we don't go far.
Yeah, and you look here at the playoff bracket, which is set. Obviously the West is going to be very, very tough no matter who you go up against. But obviously we open with Sacramento, and you look ahead, San Antonio, Colorado Springs awaits the winner of this match. And, we've shown that we can contain Sacramento's attack. We've shown that we can contain Roro and the talent they have out there. So I think United has a very good chance at winning this. And like you said, if they can carry that form, obviously the last 3 weeks have been a big emotional time for the club. Like you said, going from a 7% chance to make the playoffs to clinching. And United has been nothing short of incredible these past 3 weeks. This is one of those times where you look at how this club plays, you look at the ethos, you look at the culture, you look at the leadership of this club. You look at a guy like Josh Suggs, who we thought might not come back this year with the injury early on, or how much he would even contribute after that. But Josh Suggs has played almost every single minute since he's come back. You look at the energy and the way that Brucey played early in the season, and then you look at how he played after Quill came in. There's a lot to like in this matchup. There really is. And I think that, it's going to come down to what we've talked about almost every single week, is that you win the battle in the midfield. You play your guys, you play Nicky, you play You put Nicky in the midfield. You have Brucey out there to some extent. I think you've got to run Amando. You've got to run. I think you keep Santi on the bench. I don't think you start Santi in this matchup on Saturday night. And you win that midfield.
I feel the same way about that, but for Santi's professional sake,
mm-hmm.
he needs minutes.
He hasn't had any minutes in a while.
No, he has not. For his professional sake and for his ability to stay fresh, he needs to see some playing time.
So the thing about that is that, while yes, I think minutes help with form, I don't think they necessarily help you stay fresh. I think you're meaning you want to see him in form going
right, fresh in form. That's
okay.
What I'm saying, fresh in form.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, you look at it, and I with the way that everyone else is playing right now, I don't see Santi get the minutes. I just don't. I don't see him starting. I mean, I'm trying to think. When's the last time we even saw? I'd have to look. I'd have to see when is the last time we saw Santi in a match.
Phoenix.
Was it? Yeah, it must have been Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix. He got booed off the pitch for like 2 minutes straight, and he came on the 5th minute.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, it's been a minute for Santi, But to be fair, you look at his form compared to Amando, compared to some of the other guys, and I just don't see Coach starting Santi.
I mean, right, and I'm not saying to start him. I'm not saying to start him. By no means am I saying to start him. But I am saying when you're bringing off Amando and putting on Sam Hamilton, completely changing your formation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to keep attacking, you bring off Amando and put Santi in that position.
Mm-hmm. So, so when are you looking at? Where are you looking at subbing off?
I want to say that was Phoenix that we saw him last.
Yes, Santi came on in the 85th against Rising.
I was right on point.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the subs the past couple weeks have been on point. The subs have been very, very good. Right decision, right time. I understand you not wanting to bring off, Moreno for Hamilton. It absolutely is a completely different thing. But yeah, when you're able to, in the past couple weeks, you look at that sub, against Lou City, you bring off Portillo for Hamilton. You bring off Moreno for Hurst. Against Rising, Swartz off for Hamilton. Moreno off for Santi. Bailey off for Austin. Hurst off for Bruce. So you're not, while some of these are not necessarily like for like, you're getting a quality player back on the pitch.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're not getting a quality player, but if your mentality is to attack, but then you're gonna bring on Sam Hamilton who doesn't attack, but lately he kind of has, so I can't even say that much. I say that lightly. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I mean, he needs playing time. Yeah. He really does.
He does. So maybe they'll get some, maybe they'll get some 7-a-side stuff in while they're in practice this week, getting ready for the playoffs. But who knows? Harry over in the chat, appreciate you popping in, bud. No, you got to run. Congrats to New Mexico United. You are my pick for the upset of round 1 and 50-50 if SAFC advances, but have to run. And Team Jacob always. So.
I don't know about that Team Jacob nonsense.
Appreciate you popping in, Harry. Do appreciate the vote of confidence. Harry's probably, he's not wrong. Harry is very unbiased when it comes to things else other than San Antonio. So, but even Harry is very fair to whoever San Antonio is playing against. But yeah, it's going to be hard to see how do you fit in guys who haven't had a lot of playing time lately, who aren't necessarily in form. But I don't think you change a whole lot against Sacramento. I really don't. I think it's a tough call for Coach Quill on Saturday, but you look at this matchup. We've played well against them both times. I think we win this one. I think we win this one on the road against Sacramento and break the playoff curse. Again, 2 times we played Sacramento in the playoffs, 2 times we've lost. I think this is the year. This is the year we beat them. And as good as Sacramento has played, they have not had our number this year. They haven't figured us out. I'm going to go 2-1 United in Sacramento.
I mean, I like that scoreline. I was thinking that scoreline first. And I would have said 2-1 had we had Alex still in the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
With us not having him be in between the sticks and us having Andrew Thomas, I like our chances a lot better.
Okay.
Andrew Thomas is a very, very, very smart player. I had a chance just to have little conversations with him on Friday night, just in passing. He's a very smart player.
Mm-hmm.
Super, super intelligent. So I think we run it back to him. And we 3-0.
3-0. All right. That could be. I mean, very very possibly happen. I mean, it's hard to say, but I think Thomas is an upgrade to Alex, and I like Alex. I really do. But I do think Andy Thomas is an upgrade. So I could see it. And if we play with the intensity that we did on Friday night, 3-0 is a very real possibility. Because this is a much better team. We are a much better team now than we were back then. So that's a very real possibility. So, all right, there are our predictions for New Mexico United's match on Saturday night. Earl, let's run them down. Let's take a look at each of these playoff matchups and see if we can't predict the round of 16. So let's we're gonna mix it up a little bit. Okay, I don't want to go just down the Western Conference here to start with. I want to hop on over to the East because there's a matchup here that does give us the one opportunity to host a playoff match this year. And that's very dependent on the run of Detroit City FC. Now, Detroit City FC has not had a fantastic year. We know that. They are the 8th seed in the East. We beat Detroit City earlier this year. And if by some miracle both New Mexico United and Detroit City make it to the final, we will host the final. So, Pittsburgh and Detroit. Earl.
Look, I'm a huge fanboy. We all know it. I'm wearing a year 1 t-shirt. But at the end of the day, you have to use your brain. And Pittsburgh has literally given everyone and anyone a headache to play with.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in Pittsburgh.
That is very true.
This one's kind of a no-brainer. Pittsburgh.
All right. So Earl is taking Pittsburgh here. I mean, it's easy to go that route. It absolutely is. And if you look back at the season series, Pittsburgh has a win and a draw. Their win was a 2-0 win back in July. Last time out, there was a 0-0 draw in Detroit. So, and as much as I would like to hold out hope that New Mexico United can host a playoff match this year, it's Pittsburgh. It just has to be Pittsburgh. I don't see it. I don't see Detroit City. They're not the same team they were last year. They don't have the same level of talent. They have not gotten anywhere near the level of result that they did last year. So Bob Lilly, Pittsburgh, making it through to the round of 8. So Earl, let's bring it back east. Or back to the west, I should say. Let's bring it back to the west, but we'll go coast to coast on this one. 2-7 matchup. El Paso and Orange County. Now, obviously, we all want El Paso to lose. I think that's clear from the fandom, from the everything that we've talked about on the show. The fact that we saw El Paso spiraling out of control as the season went on, but managed to pick up a win in the final weekend of the season to secure 7th place. Orange County, better team than anyone expected this year, came on strong after poor first quarter of the season, I would say. Earl, does El Paso go on the road and upset Detroit City or upset Orange County?
Fep.
Okay, fair enough. I figured as much. The only thing with that, Earl, and I will say this. In the season series, El Paso has 1 win and 1 draw against Orange County. It was a 1-0 win over Orange County in El Paso. That was way back in the beginning parts of the season. Let me find the exact date on that one. That was back on April 8th, and that was well before Orange County hit their stride. So I look at this one, again, Orange County is a better team than they were earlier in the season. I just don't see it. I think El Paso has not been the team that anyone hoped they would be this year. They exceeded our expectations because we did have them finishing dead last, I believe. Or at least I think I might have way back in March. But yeah, I'm taking Orange County here as well. I can't see it. I can't see El Paso winning that one on the road. So, all right, back to the Eastern Conference. Let's go Memphis, Lou City. 2 teams that New Mexico United has beaten in the past 3 weeks. A little bit of a disappointing year for, I'd say, Lou City. Memphis, about where they were last year, I believe. Obviously,
right
both
on
are
par.
good clubs. Yeah, I would say they're pretty much dead even to where they were last year. Both teams obviously tremendously talented. But I'm very curious to see how this matchup plays out, especially when you consider, you look at the results between the two. They drew back in April 1-1, and then Memphis did beat Lou City in June by a final of 3-1. This, to me, is probably one of the more interesting. This is probably the more interesting of the 4-5 matchups, if you ask me.
Yeah, 100%. I am definitely interested in this one. I will be probably tuning in to watch this one on Saturday for sure. This one hurts me because I don't know. I would love to say 1-1, and then Lou City advances on penalties.
You'd like to say that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
Okay, so you're taking Lou City. All right. I'm going to go against you here on this one. Again, I like what Lou City is doing. I like their stadium. I think they've got a talented club. Again, drastically underperformed this year. Drastically underperformed expectations. And I think Memphis has been playing really well. And despite their loss against us, they come into the playoffs playing pretty well. So, I mean, Lou City has lost 3 of 5. Memphis has won 2 of 5. I think this is Memphis's year. I think Memphis takes the win over Lou City, and they advance. And Memphis and Lou City bombs out in the first round. Again, I think it's the more intriguing of the 4-5s. But I think it's going to be a good match. All right, let's go back to the West. We got San Antonio and Colorado Springs, the other 4-5 matchup. Obviously, Harry in the chat, big San Antonio supporter. This is an interesting matchup here. Colorado plays with a ton of pace. San Antonio has a ton of size and physicality. So I'm really interested in this one here. When I look at this one, I see San Antonio as being the team to beat. They were obviously my preseason favorites. I felt really good about their season. But you go back and you look at how they played against each other. The San Antonio did pick up a win back in March, and they drew 1-1 back in September. I really like this matchup for San Antonio. I think San Antonio's physicality wears on Colorado. And I think San Antonio advances.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I think next weekend I'm hopping in my car and I'm driving up north to Colorado Springs.
Sounds like fun. What leads you to believe that Colorado's got the edge in this one?
San Antonio's not really playing their best soccer at this point.
That is true.
They kind of, and I know they're sitting on the 4 seed, but they kind of limped into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had a squeaky wheel for sure going. And I don't think that they clean it up within a match or within 1 week. And Colorado, I mean, they were sitting 6th place, I believe. 7th place at one point.
Well, they were near the top of the standings for a good bit of the season, but they've definitely come on. They've won 4 or 5, and they're playing really well right now.
Yeah, lately now at the end of the season, they were sitting, I believe, 6th or 7th around there. Mm-hmm. They're floating around 7th for sure.
Yeah.
So for them to get the top half of the bracket, I mean, I'm okay with it. So I think that they have pace, like you said. San Antonio has pace too, and as much as I want to go with Harry and Robert's team, and their pick, I just can't. In good faith, looking at Colorado Springs, when you match them on paper, Colorado has the edge. Especially the run of form that San Antonio has been in lately.
That's very true. That is very true. All right, we'll go back to the East. We've got 2 more in the East. I'm going to go Tampa Bay, Birmingham. The 2-7 matchup out of the East. This is one that I think is going to be really interesting. You look at them on paper. Obviously, Birmingham is, I guess you could say limping in. They've won 2 of 5, lost 2 in there as well. But you look at the season, they've beaten Tampa Bay twice. So I'm really curious to see. Now, Harry obviously said we are his upset pick for the first round. This is another one here. I think this is a dangerous matchup for Tampa Bay because clearly they haven't figured out Birmingham.
Yeah. Regular season playoffs Tampa Bay versus playoff Tampa Bay are 2 different teams.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay usually limps themselves into the playoffs, usually contending for a 1 or 2 spot. Once again, for I believe the 3rd year in a row, they're sitting at the 2 spot. With that though, Tampa Bay they haven't figured out Birmingham in the regular season. But like I said, playoff Tampa Bay are completely different animals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw Guenzati last season score 2 goals all season, 3 goals all season, and then go and put 3 goals in 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to go Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. All right, let's go Tampa Bay. That's not a bad pick. You look at how Tampa Bay's played throughout the season. Obviously they had a few down moments, earlier on, but superbly talented team. We obviously didn't play very well against them. It's, and like you said, they're built for the long haul. They're not necessarily built to run away with the conference. And I think we got lucky in our matchup with them to even pick up the 2 goals that we did. So yeah, I look at this, and as much as I like Birmingham, I like Kaylor Hodges. I think he does a great job out there. I think the team is talented. Nico Brett, Preston Tabordataka. they have guys that are difference makers that can do things. But I'm not convinced that Legion are sound enough defensively to walk through the playoffs. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay here. I think Tampa Bay is just too good in the playoffs. I think that they're very well coached, and I think that they have the edge here. All right, Earl, two more. Back to the West, San Diego, Phoenix. This is one that I think is going to be really interesting. Obviously Phoenix struggled for parts of the season. San Diego, not so much. You look at these two teams, and I mean, we talked about it a little while ago. San Diego, final season in existence. And these two guys, they played each other twice very early on. They haven't seen each other since week 3 of the season. On March 19th, San Diego shut out Phoenix Rising 3-0. On April 1st, they had a 2-2 draw between the two sides. So, and this being, San Diego obviously won the match on the road. That was the 3-0 result there. I'm not sold on Phoenix. Yes, they've been playing better, but I'm not sold on them. You saw the way that we played against them. You saw when you run at them, they tend to get out of sorts. You see them not defend well at times. And Loyal, let's face it, Loyal is a more talented team than we are. Loyal has a better opportunity facing them against Rising. And there's got to be that emotion and that momentum coming from San Diego, trying to show out in the final few matches they may have in their existence. So I'm taking San Diego in here. Again, I'm not sold on Rising. After seeing them throughout the season, I'm not convinced that they can do anything
here. Yeah, I mean, San Diego's last season, they don't go out easy. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We saw what they did to El Paso. I got San Diego.
San Diego. All right, Earl. That brings us to the final match in the Eastern Conference: Charleston Battery, Indy 11. The former Troy Lesane and Zach Prince club against Mark Lowry's men, Solomon Asante in Indy. We haven't seen we saw Battery really early on. If I remember correctly. And maybe not. It was later in the season. Sorry, I apologize. September. We lost to Battery 1-0 in a match that realistically we should have won that one. Like, we did not play well against Battery. And then Indy, let me double check what Indy did against Battery. Indy beat them 4-0 in June, and then they drew 1-1 in July. I mean, this is probably the tougher of the 3-6 matchups to pick. And I don't know which way I'm leaning on this one. Obviously, I don't want Mark Lowry to win. I don't want to see Solomon Asante and that crew, advance. But I don't know if Battery is good enough to beat Indy.
And I disagree. I mean, you look at the Solomon Asante team. They're a 6th seed. So they barely squeaked in 2. So I got to go Charleston.
Going Charleston. All right, Earl's going Battery. Perfect. All right. I understand the thought process there.
And actually, here's more of the thought process.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Mark Lowry. And fuck Solomon Asante.
There you go. Yes, I understand the thought process. I really do. I get it. And I think it's hard to say that, I would have a hard time saying Indy snuck into the playoffs. I mean, they were 8 points clear of the margin line there. And I know the results throughout the season, obviously Battery had a better year. But I think I have a hard time taking Battery in this one. I think, and I don't like it, but I think Indy advances here. I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a close match, like maybe 2-1, something, somewhere along those lines, or maybe it goes to penalties and Indy advances. But I just don't think Battery is good enough to beat Indy, and it pains me to say that. So, but there you have it, folks. There's our first round predictions of the USL Championship playoffs. Obviously, we'll run them down here. I've got United, San Antonio, San Diego, Orange County, Pittsburgh, Memphis, Tampa Bay, and Indy. Earl is going United, Colorado Springs, San Diego, Orange County, Pittsburgh, Lou City, Tampa Bay, and Battery. We'd love to hear your predictions throughout the week. You can obviously reach out to us on social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you want to get in touch with us at to let us know all of that. Earl, do you have anything to add before we get out of here this evening?
Actually, I don't. I mean, I'm happy that United got in. And I hope that we can continue to run the run of form that we've had the past few weeks to make a deep run into the playoffs.
So we've got a question. Earl, we got a question on the text line. And a bit of prognostication is being requested here. We know the playoff field. We had our preseason show many, many weeks ago. I obviously said way back then that San Antonio was my favorite to win the whole thing this year. Now that we know who's in and who's out, who is your ultimate champion?
So here's the thing. I'm going to give you my pick.
Okay.
I'm also going to give you Marlena's pick.
Okay.
She also did this whole bracket challenge. My ultimate pick, I mean, I've said it. Pittsburgh at home. Pittsburgh every day. So yeah, my pick is Pittsburgh.
All right, Earl picking Pittsburgh. All right. I could see it. I can see it. Pittsburgh is a very good team. But you're wrong. You're wrong. And I know Harry might disagree with this because...
So hold on. Hold your thought.
Go for it.
Before you hit your pick, before you lock yours in, Marlena made her pick.
Okay, that's right. Let's get Marlena's pick.
And her pick was actually pretty decent. It was not a bad one, actually.
Okay.
And I was kind of surprised that she had some kind of logic behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that she's not a logical person, but she's not the biggest soccer fan out there. And I say that lovingly, just so she knows, because I'm sure she's probably watching in the other room right now. So, hi. She went Orange County.
Okay. I mean, it's entirely probable. I mean, Orange County, obviously, they won it 2 years ago. I think, if I'm correct, they won 2 years ago.
Yeah,
they won 2 years ago over Tampa Bay. So, and a game that was just taken over by Ronaldo Damas. That's not a bad pick. It's really not. And with the way they've been playing in the second half of the season, really almost 2/3, that's not a bad pick at all. It's really not. So if you're in the chat, if you've asked questions this evening, send us your pick, and we'll discuss those. We'll compare, and we'll see where everyone's. So even if it's a shot in the dark, knowing who is in and who is out, who is your pick? You can be as homerish as you want. We're all homers to an extent. Earl has already picked against New Mexico United, so it is what it is.
It's because I didn't get my paycheck in the mail.
You didn't get your paycheck in the mail. There you go. Well, Earl, as soon as I can cut you a 0-cent check, you got it, buddy. By the way, I tried to send you money real quick before we get to my pick. I tried to send you money the other day. I tried to send Jacob money the other day, and neither of y'all's banks would take the money.
Maybe it's just you.
No, I have I have sent money to other people, and the money was accepted. But yeah, your bank would not accept it.
I'll send you a request here in a minute.
Okay, and then I mean, I can always like PayPal or Venmo or something too. But
yeah, so before we get to your pick, we do want to give a shout out to Alex Rodriguez, who is a superhuman. He found me. I was a little bit late because, believe it or not, when you score 2 goals in 8 minutes, you kind of get excited and look for another one. So that 15th minute definitely passed quick. So I took it upon myself to wait an extra 5 minutes that it took me to get up the stairs to the concourse. Put a bunch of hints in the chat, and as soon as I walked away, Alex took a picture of where I was standing. I didn't even get down to the bottom of the stairs yet, and he already sent me a picture. So I turned right back around, and congratulations, Alex, who got himself the yellow New Mexico True Kit, but not for him, for his wife.
Very awesome. Yeah, so if you missed last week, Earl, I sprung this on Earl, and I said that if you could find Earl between the 15th and 25th minute of Friday night's match, Somos Moss would buy you a kit. So, yeah, congratulations to Alex Rodriguez for finding Earl, for getting the pick. We did get that up on social media, so congratulations to Alex and his wife who got the new kit. Hope you enjoy, and it's something that we hope we can do again in the future. Earl, you also gave away some tickets on Facebook last week, so congratulations to those winners as well.
Yeah, so we did have a ticket giveaway as well, and those winners, let me get to that page. How the shit do I do this? Right there. Those winners were Mason Banning, who won first place, and he selected Section 201. And then there was also Desiree McBrider, who was second place, and she selected Section 122.
Awesome. Very cool. Glad we were able to get some stuff away here in the last week of the season. Again, it's something we want to do more of in the future. So keep an eye out for that. More than likely next year, but keep an eye out for that. So yeah, congratulations to all of our winners last week. We do appreciate everyone who did participate and, look for opportunities to get involved. So enough hemming and hawing. My prediction, and I think, I know that Harry might waffle on this a little bit because Harry is not even sure, but I'm going to stick with my preseason favorite. I'm going to go San Antonio to go back-to-back, which is an extremely hard feat to do in the USL. And it's going to be San Antonio on the road to Tampa.
Oh, you're just fucking crazy.
You think so, huh? Okay. You may think so, Earl, but that's my pick, and I am going to stick with it. San Antonio on the road over Tampa.
And ladies and gentlemen, Seth is officially drunk.
Not tonight, my friend. Not tonight. But I think that's going to just about it. Unless you got anything else you'd like to add, I think we can.
I don't.
All right, we can call that a show then. So to everyone in the chat, Santa, Rachel, Harry, Andres, everyone on the text line, Marlena, Melanie, and anyone else who's popping in and out throughout the show. We do appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Appreciate all the comments and interaction in the chat. You guys are absolutely fantastic. If you weren't here tonight, you can, of course, hear this later in the week on pretty much every podcast feed in the world. If we're not on your podcast feed of choice, please let us know. I will make sure we get us on there. So Saturday night, New Mexico United against Sacramento Republic FC out at Heart Health Stadium in California. Round of 16. kickoff at 8 o'clock Mountain Time. You can catch it on ESPN Plus. You can also catch it on Estrella. You can also listen live on ESPN Radio 1017 The Team, 1017theteam.com, or any of the team apps. And if there's any other ways to watch the game, we'll let you know about that as well. But for Earl, for Jacob, for myself, thank you guys so much. And until next time, Somos Unidos.